Now, 15 public procuring entities in the Western region have been found not to be transparent in the implementation of their infrastructure projects. The procuring entities, which include GNPC Foundation, Ghana Water Company Limited, and some MMDAs in the region that took part in a sub-national infrastructure transparency index survey conducted by CoST Sekondi-Takoradi. City News' Annim has the details from Takoradi.
The first Infrastructure Transparency Index survey conducted by CoST Sekondi-Takoradi ran for a period of 5 months, sampling 30 public infrastructure projects from 15 participating procuring entities in the western region of Ghana. The survey, which had the objective to strengthen transparency and accountability among procuring entities, had Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, Coastal Development Authority, Ghana Water Company Limited, GNPC Foundation, the Western Regional Urban Rules, and 10 MMDAs in the region participating. Speaking to City News on the sidelines of a public dissemination forum in Takoradi, the consultant who carried out the survey on behalf of CoST Sekondi-Takoradi, Dr. Matthew Kwasomia, said the Infrastructure Transparency Index is an evaluation instrument used to measure levels of infrastructure transparency and the quality of public participation and accountability among procuring entities. He said the result shows a disconnect between public transparency policies and its implementation.
What we've seen today is that there is a great disconnection between the enabling environment and the other blocks of transparency, namely capacity and processes, information disclosure, and citizens' participation. What it means is that we have the laws promoting transparency, but these laws are not being enforced. So we have positive scores for the enabling environment, but the other 3 indicators of transparency, we are scoring very low marks, as low as below 20 in those areas. So we have 15 procuring entities participating in this survey, and out of the 15, we have Ghana Water Company Limited emerging first with an ITI score of 49.8%, followed by STMA with an ITI score of 48.5%, and then we have Impoho District Assembly also following in that sequence. But generally realize that they all did not even obtain the average mark of 50 over 100. Meaning, though they emerged first, but the general performance of the entities were below average.
Aziz Mahmood, a member of the CoST Sekondi-Takoradi's multi-stakeholder group, while giving recommendations from the survey, urged public procurement entities to adopt the cost disclosure standards.
This being our first Infrastructure Transparency Index survey, our expectation is that the shortcomings that were identified during the survey, the weaknesses, the strength, the PEs would work on them. And if you look at the reports, we have made specific recommendations. For instance, if you look at the only government portal that discloses information that is germane to public infrastructure is limited. Realize that for the PPA bulletin board, only 5 to 7 data points are disclosed. And this is just for the procurement stage. Issues or information regarding how the project was even designed, the level of stakeholder consultations, how the project was managed after the procurement stage. So our first recommendation was to government and specifically the PPA to adopt the cost disclosure standard that will enable citizens and other stakeholders, including the media and civil society, to be able to own information or access information that tells the complete picture before and after the procurement stage.
Representatives of participating MMDAs from Sekondi-Takoradi Metropolitan Assembly and Shama spoke to City News on their performance and the way forward.
I think that we placed second with 42%, and it's really not good. And now that we've seen the dimensions, that is the disclosure, and we have our website, but I think that we can go further in disclosing our information, especially during project commencement, project identification, the processes. We should engage the media, the citizens, and everybody involved so that they'll be able to tell the story, what we are doing, where we've reached, for people to monitor. And I think that with the disclosure, the Right to Information Act that has been passed also, as an assembly, I think it's now time for us to reflect and prepare ourselves so that anybody who walks into access information, we should be able to give that information without hiding any information from anybody.
It's good to do this kind of assessment because it will also bring our entities on board for them to know what they should also provide for their staff to able to deliver. Because if you watch where we score 0, it's about disclosure of information online. But here's the case that we have the information in the office, all right, but how to place them online was not done. That is why that portion was scored 0. So we are pleading with our management that the necessary logistics that staff needs should be provided so that they will be able to deliver what they're supposed to do.
For City News, I am CoST Sekondi-Takoradi.